The presenting sponsor of Upmarket is Aereo, the best place to grow and manage your real estate media business online at aereo.com. That's ARYEO.com. Coming to you from the Upmarket studio at Gasworks in beautiful San Buenaventura, California, this is Upmarket, a podcast about the business of real estate photography and media. My name is Reed Fish. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Upmarket Media. And God, that other co-founder of mine, Mark Corcoran, he's actually in the studio today, but he's not a part of it. He doesn't do the PMRE episodes, so he's sitting doing actual work where I just get to talk bullshit and stuff and, just prattle on about whatever I prattle on about. But I'm going to prattle on first about PMRE because this is a Road to PMRE episode. PMRE is coming up. The Photography and Media for Real Estate Conference is coming up November 18th through 20th at the Palms Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. There are some tickets still available, so please go to PMREconference.com, get registered. There's some workshops to take. I mean, there's so much good stuff. We talk about it all the time. It's the premier event in our industry. It is so fantastic. And the other thing, there's so many wonderful vendors there, and one of them is going to be there. And our partner in bringing you these Road to PMRE episodes is iGUIDE. Of course, iGUIDE, a great, wonderful 3D solution for you and your clients. So you can do floor plans, you can do the 3D tours. So please go check out goiguide.com for all about iGUIDE. And if you are at PMRE, make sure you talk to them. It's a great crew of people, a great product, a great system. Just everything about it, I rave about iGUIDE. So please go check them out. And of course, we are so lucky here. We get all the speakers who are going to be at PMRE coming on. And today we have Elena Pastorius, the managing director of Narwhal Creative in Windsor, Ontario. And Elena, so I think of you as kind of a business guru because I know you've really helped shepherd Narwhal Creative to get to the powerhouse that it is today. If we have a listener who's just starting their real estate media business, what's your number one piece of advice that you would give to someone who wants to start and then wants to grow and doesn't just want to be like a single operator?
Pay an accountant to set up your tax accounts properly.
Oh, first thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. First thing. You're in Canada, our CRA, and in America, your IRS is several years behind in audits. You will not get caught for 3 to maybe 5 years, at which point you will have a gigantic tax bill coming for you if you do not register your taxes right off the hop. So pay your taxes as you go while they're low. There you go. But paying the accountant, but I'm just starting a business. Come on. I just had to buy a camera. I just had to buy a lens. I mean, I don't have any money. So how, but still, so I have to that's I think the disconnect for people is they're like, I don't have money. I'm not making money, but I got to pay an accountant to set it up so I can just make some money and, buy some food. You're going to pay now or you're going to pay later.
All right.
This is not a shill for the accounting industry. I am not an accountant, but I did not pay an accountant to set up our bookkeeping. I thought I could do it all by myself. And right. I think that I might have 5 years later finally unfudged it.
Yeah.
So really getting an expert in to keep your books in order and at least teach you how to get set up. Your municipality probably has a small business accelerator with some free resources. Don't fudge your financial setup in the start of your bookkeeping because you will pay for that for years and years and years.
Yeah. And I think when we started our business, we did do it ourselves, but we used QuickBooks or we used, different software. So, we were legitimately trying to do it on the up and up.
Yeah.
And then, once the business got big, it was just okay, this is a burden. And of course you're I wish we had done this from the beginning, but we did finally get a bookkeeper and Juliana, and with actually a really good episode of the show from a few months ago with Juliana talking about the importance of your books. And they are so crucial. And it is one of those things that as a business owner trying to grow your business, it doesn't really makes sense for you to be diving into those and doing all that because it's something that you can easily offload to someone else, even though it can be pricey sometimes, but it's so worth it because most of us suck at it, especially if you're a creative. It's usually those two brain systems don't overlap that much.
That's where the topic of my PMRE speech came from, is actually that contradiction between what you need to do as a creative to be like good at making pretty things or coming up with interesting ideas or even making sales. Like that's one whole skill set. And then the skill set of the business of business is a completely different way to think. It's a completely different way to structure your life. And it's not fun. Sorry. It's not.
So I want to, in the second half of the show, we'll talk a little bit more specifically about what you're, really what you're going to cover. But what is it like? So if we are looking to kind of Narwhal Creative as a model for, like I think Narwhal is kind of where a lot of people in our industry, you all are where a lot of people want to be, right? And so like how, what are some key steps that you took along the way to grow the business to what it is today?
Oh God. So my husband started the business.
Right. Devin, who's familiar to our audience, familiar to anyone who's been to PMRE, of course. Yes.
So Devin's got a workshop for doing pretty pictures this year. And he is our creative lead. And when we got big enough that he was looking at bringing someone else on, I came on board to also quit my industrial engineering job, which was personally soul crushing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. I'm glad you got out of that.
I'm sure a bunch of listeners can relate to not wanting to do corporate guide anymore. And yeah, it was so Devin leads the creative direction, and I bring up the back of the train. Right. And
the glamorous job, the glamorous side. Yeah.
It's the glamorous side, but so that lets him focus on being a creative. And I think that it's really, really hard to do that by yourself, to try and be all things, especially once you start having a team, because managing people and coaching and teaching is, again, another skill set. It's a different way to communicate. It's a different way to think. It's a different way to structure your thinking.
Yeah. I mean, you really have to, I think there are people who are born leaders, but I mean, it can really be a job that you kind of have to grow into. And I know, when Mark and I first came together and merged our business and started hiring some more employees, all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, we're like managers now. Like we're bosses. Yeah. Oh geez, I'm used to having a boss. And what do I do as the boss?
Yeah. The first time someone comes up to you and they're like, hey, can I book my vacation? And I'm like, oh God, this is like my call.
Yeah. Yeah. We just are like, yeah, of course. Yeah. Just go. So we need to be hardcore bosses. We need policies.
We did have to write a dress code. But that we have a physical office that clients come into.
Right.
And at some point in time, your attire in the office does, reflect on the competence of the company.
Right.
So sweat shorts were not.
Yes. They're like, but I'm an editor. Don't you understand? This is my professional uniform.
I will help you source really, really comfy dresses. The stretchy ones.
Right. Oh yeah. They don't.
We're not that serious. We're not that formal. But this is the stuff that comes with having you have to have a hard conversation of that is not a work appropriate shirt, and I need you to dress in a different way. Mm-hmm. And that means I have to give you a guideline to what is acceptable, which means I had to write a dress code.
Yeah. So that's one of the things we're still working on it 5 years in, of actually having an actual handbook for employees. And
Me
so
too.
You're still working on it.
I have only the dress code section done because
only the dress code section done. Okay. All right. Well,
nothing else has come up.
Okay. Nothing else has come up. Okay. Well, vacation will come up, social, I don't know, man. I think eventually it all comes up, but we've been so lucky. We've been, and hopefully it's been similar for you all, is that, we've hired some really responsible, good people, and, there just hasn't been too many big issues, but it is hard. It's something we still struggle with now. And occasionally you'll see stuff that, does kind of rub you the wrong way. It's like, oh, I wish you hadn't done that. Or, there's a lesson here to be learned, but sometimes it's really actually hard to have those conversations because you're like, it's not that big of a deal. And I feel like if I bring it up, they're going to think it's a big deal, and they're going to think I'm mad at them. Then they're going to be overthinking everything. And then their creativity is going to be stifled, and then they're going to hate me, and then they're going to quit. So
I think again, I came from automotive manufacturing. So supervising a union production floor, which is the polar opposite of managing creatives, because when you write a job description for a factory, you call out, you pick this bolt up with your left hand. and you feed it to the tool in your right hand. Like it's that granular.
Wow.
Because you're optimizing the motion. Right? The factory I was working on spat a minivan out every 47 seconds.
That's a lot of
minivans.
Yeah, a lot of that's. Oh, geez.
That's a lot of minivans. And so this is how granular and controlled an environment you're in. And all labor relations are controlled by the collective bargaining agreement. And everything has a policy. So to go from that to, running your own company where your deliverables are different every time, right? You're never making the same thing twice.
Yeah.
So how do you set that standard, and how do you set the idea of how can you make this a process, and what are things you can critique? And so that comes in.
Yeah. Like, so do you have, because I guess I want to harp on the handbook for just a minute, because it is something that I think gets neglected because it's hard. And I know there's like, kind of, handbooks that you can download that are, just basically like, kind of standard practices for a lot of businesses. And then you can kind of modify that, which is, I think, kind of what we've done. But still, it's like, I don't know. It's just so much. And there's just so many, like, okay, what's our policy for jury duty?
So we live on the other hand, we live in Ontario, and Ontario as a Canadian province has a lot of legislated things. So things like jury duty are not an opinion question. There's a law, and you can look at the Employment Standards Act. So that makes it easier for us because so many of these items are not, I don't need to have a policy because I can do it this way or be held accountable to the Employment Standards Act. So you do have to know the Employment Standards Act and follow the changes because those change the legislative section. But generally, the purpose of an employee handbook and the purpose of an employee handbook in a larger company is to allow for dismissal with cause. That's the purpose of it. The purpose of it is you are not following standards A, B, and C. We have told you about this 5 times, so you will no longer be employed here. That's the purpose of the employee handbook. And
that's an interesting take on that. I haven't thought of it in that way.
Right? Because why do you need rules? You need rules to hold people accountable to them and to outline what the consequences will be when you don't follow those rules. So if you have a staff of adults who are creative and, you respect them and they respect you, a lot of the times it's just like, hey, I noticed when this happened, we didn't have the best outcome we could have for our client or for our company. I thought maybe something along this might look better. What was your thought process in the decision you made? Like, is there something I don't know? And if you come to a situation with curiosity, and I'm going to sound like a self-help guru here, but it's so true. When you manage creatives, their intent matters so much. And so if somebody is working with good intent, they will have better outcomes, right? So what is the decision making? What is driving your decision? What are you trying to do with this? And then the feedback might be, well, we find that this isn't translating. So your intent, and sometimes, I was trying to highlight this, and it's like, well, based on our client brief, that's not what we're to be highlighting here. So we need to adjust that to highlight what the client's requesting. Right. And so we had an easy example. One of our photographers took photos of a condo and a tower in downtown Windsor, and we have a view of the Detroit River and downtown skyline. Through the windows, you can see the Renaissance Center in Detroit, marquee view in Windsor, right? Okay. But these photos didn't come back with a river view because they were shot too low. Right. So I can say to my photographer, hey, I see that you were trying to grab the Rensen, and a 10 out of 10, you did get that Rensen, but I cannot see the water.
What's a Ren? Oh, the Rensen, the Renaissance Center. Yes. Yeah, right. Yeah. Yes.
It's a big skyscraper downtown Detroit.
Got it. Yeah.
Right. You can see the big building. Very nice. It looks great, but you cannot see the water. Right. So now I have a measurable concern. Right. But they're like, but probably I'm thinking that person probably is like, well, this is the height we shoot our photos at 99% of the time. And so, they forget the 1% where, no, you got to raise it up so you can see the river and stuff. Right. And I'm not going to, right. And because we have conversations about shoots and about how photos came out regularly, this isn't some great, trauma that we're going to have a conversation that this photo didn't land because your intent missed a little bit. Right. And the end result was we went and took more photos.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say, but yeah, but so what ended up happening is a return visit to the property. Yeah. And I think, like this, an interesting way to frame it is like kind of when there are these moments where things don't add up, it's like a lot of times if you look for a way to validate what the employee did and then give them the feedback of why they were absolutely wrong. But I see why you did that or didn't do that. And then it's like, but here's how we, here's why that, we needed to probably look at it from this way too. Yeah. And, so, and one of the tricks we do, especially with the photos is just like, if there's ever a doubt, just take it and take another one and just, I would much rather you, over cover it by 5 photos than, come back without the river view, so. Well,
the framing was fine if it was 18 inches.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's, it's just, like, it's hard. It's hard. There's just a lot of these things that happen. And when you're working with people, whether they're under you or over you, I mean, there's always, we all mess up and or even just have differences of opinion about, what makes a good photo or,
So the other thing that we do is we have Devin as our creative director. And that means that his call on creative decisions is the call. Right. So at the end of the day, the only person that's going to trump your creative director is your client.
Right. Your client. Absolutely.
But in-house, if we have 2 or 3 options and he's like, I think it's option 2, I shut up.
Oh, all right.
Because that's not fair to my team to have conflicting management opinions.
Sure. Yeah, right? Yeah, absolutely.
There needs to be a clear direction. And so whoever your creative director is, and that could be a project-to-project lead, but at the end of the day, somebody owns the decision.
Absolutely. So briefly, I do want to ask also, so you come into the situation where, Devin was building this creative company and it was to the point where he needed help. And you happen to be married to him. So kind of a Nepo baby, but, you got in and came into the business. How is that? And I think we see that a lot. And I've had it in my business where, a spouse once they start growing, it comes in and helps. How have you navigated that together? And has there been, is it easy to keep, is it hard to keep those two parts of your relationship separate? And how do they inform it? And have you guys had some issues? I guess that's what I'm getting at. Give me the dirty details.
Also, the dirty details is that we were high school sweethearts. So Devin and I have grown. We've grown a lot together. And so our relationship has changed. We have 2 kids now. We have a business. Our joke was our first corporation, was our first legal entity, not the ones our parents wanted. Part of it came down to the fact that we separate who has the final call on things. And that's one of the things that I think we do well as a couple is we each have very strong opinions about different things. So there's something that he has really strong opinions about, and I'm kind of ambivalent, usually dinner.
Right. Okay.
Right. I'm like, what are we eating? I'm like, food. I don't care. What do you want to eat for dinner? I don't care. And so it comes down to the same thing. It's somebody gets to own the decision at the end of the day. And obviously in our household, that's a little bit more negotiation
than
at work. But at work, Devin is the creative director and I'm the managing director. And that means, and sometimes, like, Devin, where are my quotes? Where are my deliverables for this? What am I invoicing? And there's some very blunt questions if things aren't done. And at the same time, he has the same thing for me if I also do our web design. And he's like, this does not look good, which is my least favorite thing he says. But at the end of the day, that's his call and it's his job to manage the creative output. And it's my job to make sure that our taxes are paid on time. And so he doesn't get involved with our taxes because that's somebody else's job. And you live and die by that strategy.
Right. Well, he's really trusting that you're going to pay the taxes.
But if I can't trust my spouse, who can I trust?
Yeah, very true. That's a good way to look at it. Yeah. No, and that is a good way to look at it. I think sometimes though it can, I don't know, it can just go sideways a little bit. Obviously, I think on an extremely personal note,
our real strength is neither of us do bullshit. I
Right.
don't linger on things. It's always better to have the hard conversation expeditiously than to sit and resent. And sometimes there's,
Yeah. And I think that's some good advice. And I think, in my experience, I mean, it was very fruitful that we worked together, but it was also hard. And I think kind of strained our relationship. And I mean, it wasn't like the killer or anything, but, it definitely, I think there were just moments where it didn't help. And there were moments where it really did help. So, it's just going to be a mixed bag, obviously. So
when we started working together, I shot the iGUIDE and he shot the photos, and we drove around in the same car together all day.
Oh yeah. That's intense.
Day.
Yeah.
And we did that for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And
that worked out.
It did. It did.
Yeah.
We had a lot of really quiet dinners because it's like, I have said everything I have to say to you all day.
Right.
And I'm going to play on my phone now. And we both agreed on that, which I'm sure we went to some restaurants and some servers thought we were like the world's worst couple because we were completely ignoring each other. But the background was we had spent all day together. And
Right. All right. Well, yeah. It sounds like communication is a strong suit, and that's with any relationship, right? It's communicating. And I think right now I want to communicate that we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to do some ads, do our social media sidebar, and then we're going to come back and we're going to hear what Elena is going to talk about at PMRE. I know it's going to be a good presentation, so we'll get a little preview of that, and then we're going to end with a couple banger action items. So stick around. Hey, did you know that Aereo.com is a sponsor of this podcast? Well, it is true. Aereo.com sponsors the Upmarket Podcast and has since the very, very first day. And now we're at over 100 episodes. And thank you, Aereo, for being with us for over 100 episodes. I just wanted to say we appreciate it. So thank you very much. And also, we encourage all of our listeners to check out Aereo.com because, they are the all-in-one place to book, have your clients book, and you invoice and you deliver, and it creates property websites. It integrates with Zillow 3D. It does this, it does that, it does the other thing, it does the other thing, it does another thing, it does that other thing as well. I mean, go check out Aereo.com, ARYEO.com. Use the code Upmarket and you're going to get 15 free bonus listings. And Aereo guys, we're going to party in Las Vegas, right? Okay, just getting that in there in case one of you is listening, which you're probably not. People, you guys know I have problems, and sometimes I lie awake at night thinking about those problems. You ever wake up at 2 a.m. and you're thinking about your money problems, you're thinking about your relationship problems, you're thinking about your shin that hurts. But when I'm thinking about all that stuff, I try to turn my mind to pleasant thoughts. I try to think about floor plans, honestly. I think about looking at floor plans. I think about, what if I could walk through that floor plan? Oh, I think about, I don't know. It just makes me feel so good when I think about floor plans. And, and I do think about Second Floor app, which is one of the best ways that you can generate a floor plan easily on your phone. I mean, look, you take that app, you fire that app up and you walk through a house, kind of aim it at the walls and stuff, and look, you are going to get a floor plan instantly. And that's a floor plan you can deliver to a client. You can upsell on the immediate delivery, and it is fast and it is extremely accurate. We love Second Floor app. We love floor plans. So go to secondfloorapp.com/upmarket. You're going to get a free month of service. You can do so many floor plans that you have a full month to be doing floor plan after floor plan after floor plan. Get in there, secondfloorapp.com/upmarket. All right, social media sidebar time. We are Upmarket Pod across all social media. Or are we on TikTok? I can't remember. I don't know. I don't do our social media anymore. So we have someone else who's kind of doing it. So, and then I'm Reed Fish, LYSM on Instagram. Check out my other podcast. I love you so much. ILYSM on Instagram and wherever you find podcasts. And then where our flagship is upmarket.media on Instagram. So please give us a follow if you want to see all the work that we do for our clients and all our fun social stuff. And Elena, I know you all have a big social media presence. So lay it on us. Where can we find you?
So professionally, we are Narwhal Creative on every platform on the planet. And
Great.
Personally, I have a private social media that I do not do anything public with because
well, there you go.
That is the joy of being the back of house.
Yeah, exactly. And so please do not give out your handle here because, you won't
find me.
I don't want to follow you. So it sounds very boring, honestly. And so what are you like, is there anything from, I guess, from the managing, from the non-creative side that you're telling people about your social media? Is there like your team? I mean, what are you like strategy wise, what are you guys doing?
So one of our things our company does is actually manage social media accounts for clients.
Oh,
we professional social media. And the number one thing I would like to ask you is, who is your target audience? Because if you're having a whole bunch of views, if you're trying to sell something locally and you have a bunch of real views from Turkey, those are useless.
Yes.
Those are useless. Nobody cares. About
they
what
make you feel good, though. All those likes.
But our clients, we have several clients who did not know what a Facebook was.
Okay.
We have a client who we post his personal activities on his Facebook because he emails them to us.
Okay. Yeah. So you're dealing with some real interesting people here. So not very tech savvy people. I guess that's the way.
And that's what they pay us for. That's what they pay us for.
Perfect.
They don't want to think about it. It's great.
You want a pipeline of those people.
They have their own challenges. They have no idea what their view count is if I don't tell them. They don't know how to get that information. That's our job professionally, right? And I don't want to recruit views from outside of physical businesses, physical delivery area. That's not useful to them, right? And if your target is realtors in your reason and all of your likes are coming from other photographers that you've met on Facebook groups,
right?
They're not relevant to your business. Like, I mean, they might be nice and I'm glad your friends like your content.
Right.
But
yeah, I mean,
what?
Exactly. Yeah, they're not. These are not going to be potential clients of yours. So,
correct.
If you want to be an influencer in our business, that's great. But if you want to use your social media to make money from your local
other
clients,
stuff, right? And that's something just to keep in mind. Are you selling attention? In which case, like count matters completely. If you are not selling attention, you are selling a product, and your like count is a vehicle to propel your product.
Mm-hmm.
And some clients don't like hearing that, especially when we tell them that.
Yeah.
Some clients don't like hearing that, but it's like, okay, you want different content, but when we tell you the stats on your engagement per content type and geographically where those come from, what you're asking for doesn't match what your actual demographic is responding to.
All right, cool. Well, all right. So let's take a quick...
That's not fun, sorry, but...
Oh, no, it's fun. Oh, no, you know what? Not everything is fun. Jeez, why does everything have to be so fun? Oh,
why not? It should be. When it can be, it shouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. So let's have some fun. Let's talk about PMRE in just a moment. We'll take another quick break. We'll talk PMRE, and then we're going to come back for action items. iGUIDE has been partnering with us to make these episodes possible. We're very appreciative of iGUIDE. And Skylar, we're going to talk a little bit today, I know, on the show about how we're prepping for slower season. And I know you the folks at iGUIDE maybe had a thought or two on that.
Yeah, thanks, Reed. I mean, it's interesting you bring it up. It's conversations we're having right now. And something that many probably don't know is our ability to deliver architectural or CAD drawings at iGUIDE. Using our camera system, so the same camera that you can generate, the 3D tour and the floor plan, you can actually order from us CAD deliverables. The question becomes like, who cares? What does it actually mean? Well, many of our real estate photographers are growing and extending their business, actually targeting architects, general contractors, interior designers. And that audience wants these drawing packages when it comes to doing a remodel or renovation on typically a residential home. So an architect's going to go in and renovate a kitchen. Before they can actually do that work, they need to get to what's an as-built drawing to pull permits on and to do the planning process. Our camera system and our team at iGUIDE is able to actually give those drawings to you. They can be sold for a lot more, and you're able to expand your business through that.
Yeah, absolutely. We've definitely had experience being able to do that, working with architects and stuff. And yeah, they all geek out over all that technical stuff, man. I don't understand it, but I think it's a super lucrative add-on when you get that one client who will do it. Yeah. It's like, and then
like what makes it nice is, to your point, you don't need to get technical with it. Our system can deliver it to the architect. Like essentially, you need to understand how to order it. Shoot protocol changes a bit, but overall it's fairly similar in terms of getting the camera through the house, and then you can turn around and sell these.
Yeah, and one of my favorite things about working with architects is once you kind of have them, and they're not really price sensitive because most of the time they are passing on the costs onto their clients, and so it's just, and they'll in fact even mark up what you charge them to their clients. So they don't really, there's really almost never any haggling over price, which is I love because realtors are a little on the cheaper side. So architects, I think we feel we really love it when one of those rolls in as a client. So I think Skylar, that is fantastic. Thank you. And we should go check out all the things going on with iGUIDE at goiguide.com. Hey, are you looking for an ethically sourced AI to handle some or all of your photo editing? Well, look, check out Fotello.com. That's FOTELL.co. I'm sorry, it is fotello.co.com. See, that's a very easy mistake to make. I made it. Don't you make it. Go to co.co, not .com. Fotello, look, you pay per listing. That's one of the crazy things about it. So you pay, whatever the fee is, and it's a very low, reasonable rate. And you can put 30 photos in for this listing, or you can put 100 photos in, and it's going to process them. It's going to cost you all the same amount, and it goes quickly. I mean, most shoots are processed within minutes, and the quality is phenomenal. And also, Fotello is now an all-in-one delivery system too. You can deliver photos directly from Fotello. You can, if there ever is an issue with any of the photos, they do have human editors on call where you can submit revision requests. So many great features about Fotello, and they are only getting better each and every day. And it is an ethically sourced AI, which we of course appreciate. So go to fotello.co and use the code Upmarket, and you are going to get a free month up to a $500 value of photos. So that is a big deal. Fotello.co, $500 worth of photo editing if you give it a try and tell them you heard about them from Upmarket. Your friends at Upmarket. Once again, PMRE conference is coming up November 18th through 20th, Palms Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. Go to PMREconference.com for a ticket. And obviously, Elena is going to be on the main stage there. Well, there's only one stage. She's going to be on the stage, and it's the main one. It's right there in the showroom. There's a lot of screens and stuff around it. What's your topic? What's the title of your presentation? And kind of, can you give the nutshell of what you are going to talk about?
Yeah. So my topic is about the business of business, and we are
we need more content like that, actually.
And we are talking about the rocket paradox. So
okay. Oh, I don't know what that is.
To your business.
Okay.
So the rocket paradox is that, so a rocket needs to produce enough thrust. There's my engineering background. We're coming back to it.
Sure, okay. All right. I love thrust.
A rocket needs, exactly, everyone does, to produce enough thrust to overcome the weight to blast off.
Got it.
Okay. So
Yeah.
to generate thrust.
That's physics.
That's physics.
Yeah.
To generate thrust, you burn fuel. So to make more thrust, you need more fuel. But the problem is you now have to lift the weight of that additional fuel you've added.
Mm-hmm.
So for the more fuel you need, the more fuel you need to burn just to get off the ground.
Right.
And so this applies to businesses in the same way when a business grows.
Okay.
Because the bigger your business, the bigger your operation, the more your operating costs go up. Mm-hmm. And so typically as a business gets bigger, their profit margin as a percentage goes down. So you have these two curves.
You have to spend more money. You have to have more operating expenses to pay for the operating expenses or whatever.
Operate the business, right?
Yeah.
And so you can make this up. Like Walmart, I think, operates globally at a 2% margin. Mm-hmm. But 2% of Walmart makes is still noodles and noodles and noodles of money.
Right.
Right. So a low margin in absolute dollar value can still be a lot of money.
Right.
But you have to come up with a plan when you're saying, hey, I'm going to increase my load. I'm going to increase the weight on my rocket to use that weight effectively to actually grow. Otherwise, if you're just taking more risk, you're just taking more cost, and you're not actually putting more money in your pocket at the end of the day, why bother?
Well, exactly. Well, can you give a real world example of this? I mean, that's not a rocket. That's actually in our business.
I mean, the easiest one is, and I'll talk about this in much further detail in my presentation, but is hiring another person, right? If you want to hire another person, you have to either pay them a very high rate per shoot to be a one-off shooter, or you have to hire them, right? And if you're going to hire somebody, now you've guaranteed them so many hours a week of work at a set rate, which
some scary shit right there.
It is. And now, from a personal level, you're also, kind of accountable to a second family.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. No, it's like an honor and also such a burden to have that,
Right. So how do you make sure that bringing on this employee means your business as a whole generates more revenue?
Yes. How do you do that? Please tell me.
So you have to have demand, right?
Right.
You have to have a demand for what you're offering. You have to have something what we call product market fit, is what you're offering, something that's desirable in your market to your appropriate customer segments, right? Does having this person let you reach new customers? Does having this person let you extract more money per customer? Where is this additional revenue going to come from to support this additional person? And then secondary to that is, how does what you do change? Like, how does your personal professional growth have to develop to go from a, I do it all to we do it all?
Right.
And this kind of comes back to my conversation about that we talked at the beginning a little bit about talking to employees and about maintaining quality. And one of the things I'm excited to talk about, I don't know if anyone else is excited to listen to, is how do you define the quality with which your company operates?
Define the quality. Okay.
Right? How does a photo from Windsor Real Estate Photography meet the requirements to be a photo from Windsor Real Estate Photography? Sure, there's measurables. There's vibes.
Yeah. Vibes. The elusive vibes.
The vibes need to be there. The client experience needs to be there. The client experience at every touch point needs to be there. Right? How do you think about setting up your business in a way that everyone knows what to expect? Your clients should know what to expect. Your team should know what to expect. You should know what you expect from everyone around you. And how do you communicate that? And so again, I came from an incredibly structured background in manufacturing. Right. Incredibly structured. We counted steps. Every step is worth half a second, or I forget what the exact time allotment was. And there was math behind it. And then you say, a big one we've struggled with for a long time is, before you send your photos in the morning,
yes,
how many do you check if the person delivering the media isn't the editor and isn't the photographer? You have a third person delivering media. They've never seen this media before.
Correct.
What percentage of them do they need to audit?
What percentage do they actually need to look at, or which percentage do they need to, make a tweak?
No, just look at, because by the time it gets to your delivery person, right?
It should be perfect. Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
Did they turn the titles on? Were the titles turned on in the video?
Yeah.
Is your title spelled right? Is the municipality it's in spelled right? Did they punctuate it correctly?
Yeah. The short answer to that is often no.
It's often no, right? So how do you set up a company, especially, and the more pieces you get involved, the more people that touch any individual product, again, when it's you and you're the only one on the ball, the only one at the show, right? You're going to book that shoot. Maybe you have an online booking, maybe you don't. If you're just starting up, you probably have a phone number. Someone's going to text you. Yeah. Right? Did you write down? Did you write down that you had an appointment? Like, did you remember to write that down? Did the client give you the address? Yeah. Was the client's address correct? Right? And this all sounds like really kind of silly and granular until it starts to go wrong, and it starts to go wrong when you're busy, because you can no longer afford the time to untie that knot of what happened here.
Yeah. And, that kind of stuff, you can be whatever. Now, Mark and I, we're 5 years as Upmarket Media, 10, 12 years into our businesses. And literally yesterday we were doing something and the client is like, hey, what time are you guys showing up? I'm like, what are you talking about? There's no shoot. Oh, except there was. That had been booked and never written down, never put into the system. And so it's like, even with our well-oiled machine of Upmarket Media, where we rarely ever make mistakes of any sort, that can happen still. And so, having those systems and having, and I guess, and to put it in the framework of what you're kind of talking about, is like, for Mark and I, it was like so mortifying. And we were just like, and it was like, and kind of you get to a point, this is not the Upmarket Media way. What are we doing here? And it's like, and because not that I thought about it in that way, what makes an Upmarket Media, photo shoot experience or whatever. I was like, well, that's not it, for sure.
And so like you bring this up, what makes an Upmarket photo shoot experience representative of what your company wants to be? And
very sexy.
When it's just you, it's very clear. You know how you conduct yourself. You know what your client relationship is. You know if you're going to be on time. You know when you call the client. But when it's not you, it's somebody else. What do you how late can you be before you have to call and let them know? Because believe me, you have to call that out. You cannot leave that up to somebody's discretion.
3 minutes.
Is that your rule? Okay.
Yeah. If you're going to be more than 3 minutes late, you need to notify our admin as soon as you know, and then we'll relay that to the client. Because we find at 4 minutes after the appointment time is when the calls start. And
ours is generally if you're not going to be 2 minutes early.
Oh.
If you're not going to be there,
you're so much better than us. Jeez.
Well, maybe our clients are more neurotic.
They're Canadian.
I think it also depends on, the size of your metro area.
Sure.
If people being 5 minutes late due to traffic is a common occurrence or not, right?
We're in Southern California, so it's a little more chill.
We're in a small city. Our entire metro area, and surrounding area, is 500,000 people.
Well, good size.
It's fine, but it means that you can drive basically everywhere in 20 minutes on average.
Right.
And traffic is not California traffic is not a thing we have here. Something's going wrong if you have traffic. So the expectation is if you book a shoot at 2, barring a rollover on the expressway, you should be there at 2.
Right. But you have to leave at 1:40 then. So, and that's the thing is, if it's 1:44 and you haven't left, okay, I'm going to be late. So that's what we try to tell. It's like, just think ahead that one next step.
When you put the direction into Google Maps on your phone and it gives you the ETA, that is the time to make the call.
Yes, exactly.
Because from a client perspective, right, if I am expecting a service provider at 1 and I get a text at 12:45 and saying, hey, I'm running 5 minutes behind, I'll see you between 1:05 and 1:10. I'm not mad.
No,
I'm not mad.
absolutely.
That's fine.
Exactly.
Thanks for letting me know. I'll grab a coffee.
Yeah. No. Well, it's always, and even in my personal life, if someone, if I'm going to meet them at 7 and they text me at 7, oh, sorry, running 20 minutes late. I'm like, you freaking knew you were running 20 minutes late 20 minutes ago. Asshole.
Yeah. right? And that's the client experience you want to avoid.
Yes, exactly.
And I think in our business, we have a second set of kind of secondary clients that we do need to keep in mind, which is the sellers. It's the homeowners, right? And you're not only a representative of your company, you're a representative of your client.
Yes,
and so
absolutely.
how your team or how you conduct yourself in the field, on location. And obviously we've all come across, some interesting folk in the neighborhood who don't know what you're up to, especially if you're flying a drone. And there's going to be a limit to how positive every interaction can be.
Of course.
But that the seller feels comfortable with you in their home, that the seller feels, comfortable around you as a person. Our joke is, our dress code is you can't scare the old people.
Right. Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. Well, exactly. And we lucked out yesterday because it's like, I think, most people, even though we had that gaffe of like not putting the chute in the system, most people can forgive a big error, right? You just say, "Oh my God, I don't." Yeah, if it's rare, but then and it happened to be a situation where I think the homeowners were there, and so we ended up being able to like scramble and do the shoot, but we were there like an hour late, and but the homeowners were cool. And it didn't matter. And so, but if our clients had really felt like we had embarrassed them in front of their clients, then that's the line in the sand that you can't cross, right? It's like, it's a lot easier, if you're just kind of pissing off your client, but if you piss off their client, oh man, then it's over.
We have real estate agents that we never shoot for, and then their client requests us.
Yes.
And it's amazing how fast they change their regular shooter. And the same happens to us, right? We have clients we shoot for all the time. And we're like, hey, well, how come we didn't shoot this one? And they're like, you know what? The client, it was their cousin who was the other guy. And I'm like, okay, thanks for letting us know. And I think, one of the things you talk about is you can scramble. And so there are definitely benefits to having the team. Like, I'm not here to say it's just and there are opportunities that come with having a team because, you have more shooters. Someone is more likely to be able to cover that error as long as you're ready for it.
Yeah, well, no, exactly. So we kind of lucked out that we were ready, and that's the benefit of we have like 3 shooters now, and plus Mark and me if I need to. So it's like we do have some flexibility, especially as we're not in the busiest part of the year as well. So
that's also my role. Is I am always the last chance photographer.
Right. Oh, so you know how to shoot photos?
Yeah, I
too.
shot.
Okay.
Yeah, I shot. I really until we pivoted from real estate photography only to full spectrum marketing in 2020, which was a time to make that jump.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
that was a time to make that jump. And so really until my son was born in 2019, I was shooting basically full time. And it got to the point where, we stopped driving together. We start driving separately because I would go shoot one and then we'd meet up at this one. And one of our value propositions to our clients, and if you're not familiar with that term, come to PMRE, you will be.
Yes.
One of our values that we offered our clients was speed in the house by sending multiple people. Right. We can shoot most houses in 20 minutes. In and out. And again, we're in a smaller market with relatively lower property value. We don't have the luxury of being able to charge high rates. And so we had to come up with a system that was incredibly effective and efficient.
Right.
And so in the summer, we book every hour on the hour.
Wow. So you're shooting, okay. And you can do video in 20 minutes as well.
Yes, because we send 3 people if we need to.
Right. But then with these small houses, aren't they getting in each other's way?
If it's small, you don't send it. Like we Google Street View the house before, and you're like, you're doing it. Is it worth it? It also depends if the client's going to be on camera. Because if the client has to get their opening out, then you need to book an extra 10 minutes for that.
No, 10. Wow, you've got your clients trained because mine are just 10 minutes to do a 30-second intro. That's.
Oh, they don't. We don't do 30-second intros.
I'm just pulling out numbers, but to get a realtor to say 10 words straight and with proper inflection is a hero's task. It's very hard.
It did take some practice, and that's one of the benefits of because we offer the social media stuff, and we do social media stuff for realtors, we do it for non-social media clients. Is we have a lot of data. We have a lot of data on how content works and what content works. And so we can use that data to guide our clients.
Right.
And so it's like, oh, I want to do this big long reel and I want you to open with this. We're like, that video is a waste of your time. Okay. I'll do it.
Right. So, and I will charge you for it.
And I'll charge you for it. But we know that reels that open with a person in front, reels that take less than 5 seconds of that person before you cut to footage, you should start with the front of the house. We know these reels get watched farther than reels that are done in other configurations.
Right.
So unless you have a compelling reason to want to do it a different way, feed the machine.
Yeah. No,
feed the machine. We're not reinventing the wheel shooting an average house.
Right. Well, that is a compelling argument. And, to make that compelling argument, you do have to take action. So it is now time for our action items. And our action items today are sponsored by Pixel CRM, the only CRM designed by a real estate media professional for other real estate media professionals. Get going, get in there, check out Pixel CRM. You can run your business much more efficiently. You can actually see where your leads are coming from. You can follow up on leads. I mean, there's so many things that you can do in the CRM to enhance your business. All your communication can run through there. Check out pixelcrm.com. I'm going to have you go second. I'll go first. And you said something that piqued my interest back in the first half. And I want this to be an action item. Because all of us may think we already know the answer to this, but I think I want people to kind of drill down a little further and to really think about it. Who is your ideal client? And I think most of us say, well, it's a realtor, right? I mean, that's who it is. But I think within that, there's so many different ways you can frame people in real estate. Is your ideal client actually female realtors, or is it luxury agents? Is it, agents who do new builds, or is it, what is it, Latino agents? What is your absolute ideal client? Because then you are still marketing to realtors for the most part. So I think there's that general marketing, but I think you can drill down and kind of cater some of your marketing to really appeal to that ideal client of yours. So I would just spend some time and think about who it is you really want to appeal to, and then find ways to speak their language, find ways to be where those people are. And then that's really going to help you, hopefully get some new clients, and new clients that are your ideal clients, because that's who you want. Screw these other clients.
I'm going to piggyback on that one tiny little bit.
Okay, please do, and then give us your.
There might not only be one.
If
you can identify 2 or 3 kind of clusters, and how they are common and how they differ.
Yeah.
Right. Like, if you feel like, hey, I'm listing this and I feel like I'm getting 2 or 3 answers, great, perfect, that's fine. Don't feel like there's a one and done.
Great.
But definitely do that.
Excellent.
Mine is going to be a bit on the introspection.
All right.
Do a time audit of your administrative time.
Okay.
So it's very common. You should know your costs. If you don't, do that first. But your time cost. What is your time cost on things you cannot bill for? And what is your time cost on things you can bill for? If you are spending 20 minutes on every shoot re-editing photos from your editor, are you billing for that 20 minutes of your time and the cost of your shoot? Right? It's easy to track the time on site. It's easy to track your drive time. Everyone considers that. It's the answering emails at 8 p.m. while you're watching a show. It's the answering texts during dinner. It's the responding to clients' insane requests while you're on the road. All of those other little time sucks is a death by 1,000 cuts. So really take a hard look at, if you're spending time on your business, what is that time doing? And if that time is spent on rework, like touching something twice, that should be your biggest red flag, because you will never get paid for rework. Rework is always a loss. So if you're getting paid, if you're spending your time on reworking, then resource if someone else is doing the work, or get them to adjust their pricing or to adjust their process. And if it's your own fault that you're doing rework,
adjust yourself, bitch.
Adjust yourself. But if there's a constant, so one of the constant issues for us was the names of municipalities. Because we have a bunch of legacy municipality names that are not the legal name for the jurisdiction and are not the name that appears on Google Maps. And so it got to the point where you need to ask the client when they're on site, before we cut the video, what municipality this is in.
Exactly. Yes.
Because now we have a team, we have an editor in-house. If someone's like, hey, your municipality's wrong, I can kick out a new video in 5 minutes. It's not a problem.
Right.
When we were on the road, I can't fix that video until I'm home at 6 o'clock tonight.
Right.
That's a
and
big
you know what
problem
it is?
for your client.
And that's the last thing you want to do when you get home at 6 o'clock at night. You're just like, shit, man, I want to relax.
It's fix yesterday's videos.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it got to the point where you had to make a point to ask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it saved us so much time. And this is this
Absolutely.
stupid little question you can ask. And none of the clients care if you ask that question.
No, of course. Yeah. No, they like it. They're like, oh, great. Thanks for being so thorough.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. So do a time audit on where your time is going.
All right. I love it. Ella, thank you very much. I really appreciate you taking the time to be here. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you in Las Vegas and hearing your presentation. I think it's going to be fantastic. And thank you to you. And thank you, of course, to all our sponsors. Really appreciate you. And most of all, thank you to our listeners. Without you, we wouldn't be doing this. And I still have fun doing this. So thanks for sticking with us all this time. Thanks again, Elena. We'll see you real soon. Upmarket is a production of Upmarket Studios. This episode was produced by Chelsea Froelich and edited by Bethany Diedrich. Thank you so much for listening, and we really hope you listen to the next one too. In the meantime, our wish for you is to not have to shoot any Friday night Twilight shoots. Thank you for everything.